Okay. Yes. Hi guys. We are live again now. Um, let me do a quick check.
Yeah, I think we live on X and
Facebook.
Hello.
Hello guys. So
yeah,
okay.
ready.
Okay. I think I'm going straight to the live lecture, and I think this one is going to be like our easiest live lecture thus far. Okay, so like in the previous live lecture, we already discussed a lot about the long range attack like that happened in the proof of stake protocol, and also we discussed how to prevent it using the checkpointing. Like, and then with the checkpointing, it introduced what is called the long unbonding period. Like, so when you unstake your asset from the proof of stake blockchain, you have to wait for about like a couple of days or a couple of weeks in order to really withdraw your fund from that chain. Like, so in this live lecture, we are going to specifically look into the um, Babylon idea. And to be specific, it is the time stamping protocol, okay, which is the idea that introduced to reduce the long unbonding period. So, like to make it become quite shorter. So, okay. So in this talk, I'm going to begin from the recap. Like, so just to remind you what is the long range attack and how to prevent it using the checkpointing protocol. Like, and also just to make sure you guys like maybe some people have not watched the previous live lecture, so I'm going to make it clear what is the long range attack, but just give you a high level overview. If you want to explore more, like you can check our previous live lecture, and then from the long range attack, what is it like, and then the the checkpoint, how to prevent it. Like we are going to dive deeper into why the unbonding period have to be long. Like in the previous live lecture, I only give you the brief lesson and the high overview of why the unbonding period have to be long. And then after that, we will look into a way, like look into the main problem that make the unbonding period need to be long. Like, and we are going to solve it and make it become shorter. And then specifically after that, we are going to like directly to the Babylon time stamping idea and explain how it works and how it can make the unbonding period become quite shorter. Okay, so that is the whole talk of today live lecture. So I will begin from the recap. Like, so what is a long range attack? Like if you remember, the long range attack is quite simple. Like we have a blockchain, like which is the chain of block, and to be specific, it is going to be the proof of stake blockchain. Like because in the previous live lecture we already looking into the proof of work, like, and we found out that with the proof of work you can also do the long range attack, but the cost that incur um, from the long range attack is quite high, and maybe it doesn't want you to do the long range attack on the proof of work because it will incur a very high cost. You have to spend a lot of energy and like spend a lot of money just to mine a fork chain, like, and this fork chain have to have more cumulative work compared to the like compared to the main chain. So that is why like the proof of work, it is like it designed to prevent the long range attack at its nature. Like, but this one is different from the proof of stake. The proof of stake is weak to the long range attack, and I'm going to like recap you in the few next slide. Okay, so the long range attack is that you have the main real chain, like, and what the attacker have to do is that when the new when the new validator joining in or the new node trying to sync to the blockchain, like the attacker what it have to do is that it trying to create a fork, like a fork or a fake chain, like, and with this fork and with this fake chain, the attacker will fool trying to fool the new node into believe that some fork is really the real chain, like, and why he have to do that, it's just that if it can fool the new joining node into believe that this one, for example this one, which is the fake, which is the fake chain, like if he can fool the new joining validator into believe that this fake chain is really the real chain, maybe the attacker can send a fake transaction or fake history of blockchain into this fake chain and then can convince the new validator or the new node into believe on the fake transaction, like, and it's quite like the last because the attacker can do the double spending stuff, or maybe the new joining node or the new joining validator are like a car merchants, like who sell cars, and then on the fake or on the fake chain you are the attacker, and then you send him like two bitcoin, for example to BTC to the new node, but this two BTC that you send, the transaction of two BTC live on the fake chain, like, and if this new validator believe that this to BTC really sending to him, like maybe he will send you a, a car or a house, for example, and then when you successfully do the attack you just can delete this fake chain and then go with your car, but instead you are you have not spent your 2B BTC, like the 2 BTC is really live on the real chain and it is still inside your wallet, and that is why the long range attack is quite dangerous, like, so you can um, the core idea is that you can create the fake transaction or the fake history of blockchain or the long range attack fake shape, like, and how could an attacker do the long range attack, like, the idea is quite simple, so um, in fact you can create a fork um, today, like you can create the fork immediately, but to do so you have to buy a lot of token in the market and then gain enough voting power to be specific more than 67% voting power to create a fork to today, like, but this will cost you quite a lot of money. But for the long range attack, what you are targeting is not the trying to buy the token, but you are targeting the old validator key. Like, so throughout the history of the blockchain, like the validator will leave and join the blockchain all the time. Like, and once the validator leave the blockchain, like the security of the validator key will drop. Like the security will drop because maybe they leave the validator set and then they spend their asset in the validator key elsewhere. Maybe he already sell all the token, or maybe he send it to sex to like to do the DeFi stuff or whatever he want to do. So maybe there are no asset living in the validator key, like, so this make the security of the validator key drop, and then the attacker um will targeting on the old validator key because there are no any asset living in the validator key. So the attacker may trying to bribe or trying to buy the old validator key, which are very low price, or maybe they trying to hack it directly because the security already done. Like, and once it get enough own validator key, what it trying to do next is that he just search through the history of that blockchain. And maybe just a block, maybe the 1 year, one block of the 1 year ago. Like, the attacker detect that the old validator key that he controls, like, have um, have more than 67% voting power, and then he can start doing the long range attack from that point onward. Like, so he see that the ovaliator he at some point in time have more than 67% voting power, and he start doing the long range attack. And because he already control the super majority of the voting power, like, so he can rapidly create a block and trying to vote on it to keep up with the main chain and create the long range attack fog. Like, and that is the result of the long range attack. That is, you can have a several fake chain and trying to fool the new joining node into believe on the fake blockchain, like the fake history of the blockchain, and that is the long range attack. And to prevent it, we have discussed about the checkpoint. Like, so it's quite simple. So what you want to do is that to detect which one is the real chain, like which one is the real and which one is the fake chain. So you just go to the official website or maybe the official social media to check about the listed checkpoint. So in this example, you see that the most recent latest checkpoint is ABT5. So we know that this one is going to live on the real chain. But our outer fake chain also contain this ABT5 box. So maybe we have to wait for a couple of days to, for the new latest checkpoint to come out. And once the new latest checkpoint come out, now you can detect that this chain like contain this latest checkpoint, and now you can immediately notice that this one is the real chain, and then you can abandon outer fake chain. And that is all the concept of the checkpoint of how can you distinguish the real from the fake check, like just using the checkpoint, and it's quite simple to do so. Now, but the problem of the checkpoint is that they have some latency between the first, the first and the second checkpoint. Like, you need some time for the new checkpoint to come out. So there is some latency. And because of this latency, it means that there is some time window that the long range attack still possible to do. Like, because if you if the first checkpoint happening here, like, and the second checkpoint have not come out yet, like if the second checkpoint have not come out yet, that means during this time the long range attack or the fog still able to happen. Like, and this is why we need the unbonding period. Like, so need the unbonding period, because if there is no unbonding period, like, example is that if the attacker can fool some victim, can fool the new joining node into believe that this one is the real chain. Like, maybe the attack succeed on this block, and then once it success, the attacker unstake the token, and then immediately on the next block it withdraw the token and then sell all of their token. Like, and once the new checkpoint came out, Like once the new checkpoint come out, you can detect the attack, but you cannot punish them because they already withdraw their token. Like, and so we introduce the unbonding period so that um, we hope that if once the attacker withdraw their fund, like after the successful attack here, like once the attacker withdraw their their fund, the unbonding period will lock will temporarily lock the attacker fund long enough, like to um, just long enough to the second checkpoint to come out. Like if that the case, once we detect the attack and the attacker fund still get locked by the unbonding period, we will still able to punish them. Like so, that is one lesson of why the unbonding period have to be long. It need to be long, in the sense that it need to be long enough to like for the second checkpoint to come out and we can punish them. Like and that is all of the recap. And then um, that is the one lesson that why the unbonding period need to be long. But one of the another lesson is this one, and which I am going to talk about is that the checkpoint on the official website, like it is changeable. I mean, it can be changed all the time, and it is quite dangerous. So why is that? Like so why is that quite dangerous? Like so in this case, when you check on the official website or the on the official social media, like you have detect that this one is the real chain because the checkpoint match, like the checkpoint from these two match. Like now, but um what happen if the attacker come in and then trying to do the long range attack by creating a fake chain, like so we still be able to distinguish between the real and the fake chain, like because we already have the checkpoint on the official website. But um what if the attacker goes further than that? Like for example, not only it trying to create the fake chain, it trying to hack the official website and trying to hack the official social media to change the checkpoint, like on the official website and on the official social me- media. And once it can hack the official website or the social media, like maybe he put the fake checkpoint box onto the website, like and this one is the problem, like because if the new node joining in and maybe he have been told by his friend that this website can be touched, and but he is quite unfortunate, he logged in at the time that the attacker doing the attack, so he maybe download the fake checkpoint from the website, and he believed that this fake chain is the real one. Like so, it is the attack still successful even though you have the checkpoint. Like and this one is called also quite a problem because it creates a task assumption in the sense that um, the new new joining validator or the new node have to touch the website or task on the social media, but the nature of the blockchain, like we want something that touchless and decentralized, Like so, everything need to be um, verifiable, and we don't need to touch a- anyone else. Like if you want to run a node, you can sync to the blockchain directly and then verify it by yourself. But in this case of the checkpoint, you cannot do that. You have to touch the checkpoint first before you can sync, and that is like the hide the conflict with the blockchain nature itself. And then more more than that, in this sense, you have to introduce the long unbonding period. Like so, because if you the if you are the victim, like then you download the fake checkpoint and you sync with the fake chain. So you need the long unbonding period because you need some time to verify that the checkpoint that you down just download is really the correct checkpoint or or not. Like and to know whether the checkpoint that you just download is really the can be start or really the real checkpoint or not. You have to ask from the community, or maybe you have to wait for the news, like for news on the social media to be propagate whether this website, like the website that you use, got hacked or or not. So you need some time for the information to propagate. And then once you notice that there is no problem with the checkpoint, you gain some confidence to use that checkpoint. But if you have wait for some time and then you detect that the social media or the official website got hacked, so you may be able to notice that you living on the fake chain. And with the long unbonding period, it will guarantee you that you will be able to punish the the attacker. Like so, it need to be quite long enough to do so. And any questions so far? I don't think it's quite easy touch
Yeah, yeah,
upon.
yeah. So far, so
Okay,
good. It's like you
okay,
already explained last time. Yeah.
yeah. So now, um, so what is the problem here? Like, so why we, um, so the whole step that we just discussed it, like, so why we need the onboarding period needs to be long. Like, so because when the new checkpoint get published, like but the problem is that the next step is that we know that the checkpoint is not temporarily resistant. So what I mean is that what we just discussed it previously, like it is not temporarily resistant or it is changeable because the this website or this social media maybe get hacked someday, and the attacker can trying to change this checkpoint. Like so that is why the checkpoint is not temporally resistant. So that is why we need the next step, which is the social consensus. Like so, what it means is that you need to verify or cross check between many social media, or maybe you have to ask the community, or maybe you need the community to discuss whether there is the hack whether there is the hacking event appear or not, some stuff like that. And if they they are like, you also need the next step. If someone detect that there is the attack, they need to post on the social media or discuss with friends, and then you need the information to propagate first. And then where once the information propagate and reach you, then you can decide whether to touch the checkpoint or not. If there is, if you wait it long enough and there is no information about the hacking event, maybe you can try to touch the the checkpoint and then uh, adopt this checkpoint in your blockchain node. Like so, the whole process here, the problem happening here, like the checkpoint is not temporal resistant. So what if we can make it temporal resistant? So what I mean that, go back to this slide, like go back to this slide. If okay, this one. If you use some platform, like if you use some platform, when you post the checkpoint here and it cannot be changed, what if you can do that if the checkpoint posting here is unchangeable, like unchangeable? The attacker will not be able, even though he can hack into the platform, he will not be able to change this checkpoint. And if it cannot be changed, we have not we have we don't have to worry about this social consensus that much. Like we don't have to worry whether the platform get hacked or not, because even though it get hacked, the attacker will not be able to check the past checkpoint. Maybe he can create a fake, post a new fake checkpoint. But if you trying to check the sequence of the checkpoint, maybe you can detect something is amiss. Like for example, this one you have like variator A B C D, and then the next checkpoint you have A B C D F, and because once the attacker successful doing the long range attack and trying to post the new fake checkpoint, and he bound to use the old validator, like maybe he used the very old one, maybe only contain A B, I don't know, maybe X Y and C, for example. So you see that um, the validator group have not met, like, so you can immediately detect that there is something amiss on the validator set, and it's quite easier to detect the long range attack if the past checkpoint is unchangeable. Like, and that is the whole idea of the bar Babylon. Like, so they just want to make the checkpoint that post, like the source that publish the checkpoint is unchangeable. They just want to do that, and it can shorten the time, or maybe it can eliminate this step, like, and maybe it can shorten them. Like, and if you don't understand that much, I would going to use this infographic. Okay, so what we have discussed so far is that you can think of a blockchain as a timeline, like as a timeline. What we want is that we want to detect which one is the real or the main timeline that we want to use. Like, and why there are a lot of timeline, because there may be a lot of the long range attack, and the valid timeline is going to be the timeline where each block get more than 67% voting power, like, and the long range attack fork is also the valid timeline, like, because it get more than 67% vote, even though it is the old validator key, like, but it is still the 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 valid one. Like, so now you have a lot of fork. So the way that you trying to detect which one is the real timeline, it's just trying to find the timeline that contain all of the checkpoint. Like, and the checkpoint you can search it on the official website or on the official social media. But the problem is that because you cannot 100% sure that this kind this checkpoint are really the real checkpoint or not, because the official website is changeable. Like, maybe the malicious attack can access to the website and change the checkpoint. Maybe one day he change to this one, and is this one going to be the real chain or this one or this one? We cannot 100% sure. So why I say the core idea is just to make the checkpoint unchangeable, and if it unchangeable, you're going to have like one one direction of time. Like for example, maybe I'm going to delete this too. When the next checkpoint come out, you are going to know that the only valid next checkpoint is going to be this one, like because the property of the unchangeable, you cannot change this one to be this one and create the fake long the attack shape. Like so the whole point is just make the checkpoint unchangeable, and which one is the platform that is the most see here, and the platform that you can post your data and it guarantee that your data is not gonna be changed, like which one, which is the Bitcoin chain. Like because we have discussed it in the previous slide lecture, if you use a Bitcoin and if you want to change the history of Bitcoin, like what you have to do is that you have to spend a lot of work or the energy to change them, and it is not going to worth you money to do the to change the history just to do the long range attack at all. Like so, and this one is the concept of the Babylon checkpoint protocol. Like so, you have the blockchain that you want to do the checkpoint, like, and you have Bitcoin chain. And what you want to do is that once the checkpoint block come out, you just publish the data of that checkpoint block onto the Bitcoin. Like for example, maybe you put in the block hash or the name of the checkpoint block and the list of validator and the validator signature on the Bitcoin. Like, and the chain keep progressing, and then the new checkpoint come out, and then you just keep publishing the checkpoint on the Bitcoin, and that is the whole idea. And this kind of process is called the time stamping protocol in Babylon, and it helps like the proof of stake to check point their block instead of their official website or on their like official social media. You can check point this kind of block on directly onto the Bitcoin. And like I say, why it is secure. Like the concept is that when the attacker trying to create the fake chain, the long range attack chain, like if it only publish this one, we are going to believe that this one is the real chain, and we are going to reject this one, like because the checkpoint block here does not match the checkpoint on the Bitcoin. Like the concept is quite simple and is similar to the checkpoint process that we just discussed, but it have the unchangeable property. Like if the attacker trying to convince you to believe that this fake chain is the real chain, what he have to do is that he have to create a fork on the Bitcoin that contain the fake checkpoint. Like, and in order to fool all the Bitcoin node into believe that into adopting this chain as the real chain, he have to spend a lot of work, like to get the most cumulative work than the main chain. And by doing so, it's like it's cost you a lot of money. So that is why the checkpoint or the on the Bitcoin like can help the proof of stake, like solve the problem that we just discussed about the make the checkpoint unchangeable, and you can shorten the time. of the unbonding period because you only have one sort of truth here, and you oh, and you like 100% quite sure that the checkpoint that live on the Bitcoin is not going to be changed, and that is the whole concept. Right. So, any question so far? I think yeah, quite simple.
Yeah, actually, I don't have a question, but I have some. Okay, it's a question. Basically, what if the Mauritius they try to also publish like fake checkpoint into BTC,
Like, oh,
and
mhm.
like also like doing the same with Babylon, and then they just like change the, I don't know how is it showing on the website, or is it are you like
Okay.
yeah.
So, for example, he if the malicious like if the malicious attacker like trying to post the fake like trying to publish the um fake checkpoint onto the Bitcoin. Like now, um, may maybe you can you need a little of time to notice the fake checkpoint. Like for example, may maybe because like I said before, if you want to do the long range attack, maybe you need the old validator key. Like and once you publish um the checkpoint block onto the Bitcoin. Like maybe it can contain a validator set that say, hey, currently the validator set is green, purple, and blue, and this one also be like green, purple, and blue, for example. But once the fake checkpoint get published, maybe it contain like red validator that already leave the network, and then green and purple, some stuff like that. So this just the um, quick idea. Okay, so once the fake checkpoint get published, you can cross check to the past checkpoint, and it is quite easy to do so. Like because you already know that the past checkpoint cannot be changed, so the cross check process is quite easier to do. Like and it is still needs some time to detect the fake checkpoint, but the time that you need to detect is quite shorter compared to the changeable on the website that we just discussed it. Like so the concept is that the social consensus or the unbonding period still needed, but it can be shortened because there is only one sort of truth, and we can quickly detect it on the Bitcoin. Unlike the social media on the official web, website, where you have to look whether the past checkpoint get changed or not, maybe you need some time for the information to propagate, some stuff like that. But in this case, you just what you have to do is just look on the Bitcoin and then decide it by yourself. So it's quite more simple compared to the previous one. Like
Thank you for explaining. Yeah, it's really clear. It's way easy to check do the checkpoint. Yeah,
okay,
thank you.
okay, and that is the whole idea. Like and the just give you the quick recap again. Like so, the timestamping protocol is that it held the proof of stake blockchain like publish their checkpoint on the Bitcoin. like, and that is all the whole idea. And then, as I say, like, as I just discussed with passive, like, so we can shorten the time of the unbonding period because you only have one sort of truth, and then you can quickly cross check, or you can quickly check all of the checkpoint living on the Bitcoin. You don't have to wait for the information to propagate on the social media, or to check whether the past checkpoint get changed or or not. Like, if you want to check the checkpoint it is valid or not, you just check on the sequence of the checkpoint on the Bitcoin, and that is all. Like, it is quite a simple process. So the next problem is going to be the cost, like the blockchain. I saw, sorry, the Bitcoin is quite the expensive chain. Like, so if you want to publish the checkpoint onto the Bitcoin itself, like, it will cost you quite a lot of money, like, just to publish the data onto to the Bitcoin. It is like the layer 2 problem in the Ethereum that we have, like, we have like 2 or 3 years ago. If the um, layer 2 want to publish their data onto the Ethereum itself, it's quite e- expensive. And the same goes for the timestamping protocol. Like, if the proof of stake want to publish data on the Bitcoin, it will cost them some gas fee. And it is not only cause the problem to the proof of stake, it also cause the problem to the user side as well. Like, so if you have a lot of proof of stake blockchain that trying to publish their data onto the Bitcoin. Like, for example, you have 100 of proof of stake trying to publish checkpoint on the Bitcoin. It will cause the Bitcoin gas to spike all the time. Like, and it will cause a lot of gas fees to spike, and also affect the end user, normal Bitcoin user as, as well. So um the Babylon say, hey, I am going to be a blockchain that sits between the proof of stake and the Bitcoin. And the concept is that it is just trying to aggregate checkpoint from several proof of stake, like, onto the Babylon first, and then Babylon will help compress it into a single small checkpoint before publish on the Bitcoin. Like, so again, this picture is similar to like the layer 2 in the Ethereum. Like, so now normally we have a load up, and then we have user here, and user send transaction to the load up or the layer 2, and then this load up will aggregate transaction from user and then compress it into a small transaction before post it onto the Ethereum to reduce cost. Like, and the Babylon idea is quite the same. Instead of user sending transaction to the load up, but now the proof of stake chain will send checkpoint to the Babylon, and then Babylon will compare this checkpoint together into a one small checkpoint and publish on the Bitcoin periodically, and help reduce the cost for the pool of stake chain. And that is the whole idea of the timestamping protocol on the Babylon. Okay, and um, in fact, Babylon also doing like the Bitcoin staking. I mean the trusted Bitcoin staking, but we have not talked about this in this live lecture. Like, we only focus on the timestamping protocol. I just want to let you know that Babylon, um, they not only doing the timestamping protocol, they also, the main product that they do is the Bitcoin staking. Let the Bitcoin holder can trustedly stake their Bitcoin without bit, or wrap their Bitcoin onto another chain. You can natively stake your Bitcoin on the Bitcoin chain and help secure outer proof of stake chain. But we are not going to talk about it here. Like, maybe I'm going to talk about it in the next live lecture. Maybe so in this live lecture, we just like have talked about the timestamping protocol only. And yeah, that is all for today. Like I say, it's quite a simple live lecture. Like, and if you want to explore more on the Babylon stuff, especially the timestamping protocol or the Bitcoin staking protocol, you can check out this uh, left reference here. And um, any question before we end our live lecture?
All good for me.
Okay.
Same. I think everything good for me.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that is the end of the live lecture. And in the next live lecture, I think I am planning to talk about the pod network, which is the application of the fast pay protocol that we have discussed it in Sui, like maybe pod or maybe linear. I am currently trying to read their paper and their document. I will decide which one I'm going to talk about in the next live lecture.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you a lot, Phil, for today. And I think it's for this session, it's very easy for you guys to understand how to run the attacking on the Babylon work. And see you in next couple of weeks. And with the pod protocol, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
so
you very much, guys.
Yeah, and happy Songkran Day. If you want to play Songkran, you can come to Thailand,
So
Yes. Water festival.
Enjoy your long weekend. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Bye bye. Have a good night.
you too. Bye.